My name is Vaibhav Rastogi, and I'm the product manager for HPE's mission critical SAP HANA infrastructure solutions portfolio. Now, as we all know, migrating to S4 HANA is the high stakes, high visibility initiative. And so you'll want to partner with someone who not only has a portfolio of solutions that address your specific needs, but more importantly, a track record and experience of implementing SAP and SAP HANA projects. Now, there are a number of factors that will ultimately determine the success of your S4HANA implementations. And one of the most critical elements is going to be the underlying infrastructure, whether it's on premise or in the public cloud. So over the next few minutes, we'll go over some key factors to consider as you embark on your S4HANA adoption journey. And these will help you minimize cost overruns, increase performance, availability and uptime, as well as we'll also introduce you to HPE's industry-leading portfolio of SAP HANA infrastructure and services. So for the last 30 plus years, SAP has been the de facto standard for ERP applications. For the majority of our clients who've been running SAP applications for decades, the notion of an SAP sprawl is actually a real issue. Our clients, they tell us that they're struggling with a multi-vendor application hardware stack, a code base that's so custom, and in some cases, it's many decades old. The most typical SAP deployment scenario is running functional modules on top of third-party databases like Oracle, DB2, SQL, and then you also have an entire ecosystem of complementary business applications that customers often tailor to their specific needs. And so it's really this complexity that often leads to delayed access to real-time data. And it's this data that's just so fragmented, and that really leads to increased costs. Now, SAP HANA addresses a lot of these challenges. With SAP HANA, you no longer have to deal with the complexity and the costs associated with third-party databases. HANA is the database. SAP HANA also gives you the ability to run analytics and transactions in the same instance, which means there's really no waiting or delays associated with getting access to actionable analytics. And that also means that you can now consolidate multiple SAP instances into one single S/4HANA instance. Now, we all know that support for third-party databases or the legacy SAP applications will end by the year 2027. And so what that means is all of us who today running SAP must move to SAP HANA and ultimately to S/4HANA before the end of support. That's under 7 years away. But then moving to SAP HANA is a major undertaking. For most organizations, SAP is the system of record. And so a HANA deployment isn't just a bolt-on solution, it's a major business transformation. And that is why it is critical for you to partner with a vendor who has the credibility, the experience, the expertise, the portfolio, and even the maturity to help you with your multi-year SAP HANA adoption journey. Here's actually the good news. Today, more organizations run their SAP applications on HPE than any other x86 platform vendor. And this actually gives us an incredible and unprecedented access to a really large install base. We've built very strong relationships with our clients that span many decades, and these are clients with whom we've built a strong relationship based on trust. They see us as their trusted advisors. These are clients that are running some of the most demanding mission-critical applications anywhere in the world. And it's feedback from some of these customers that we've incorporated into building our SAP HANA offerings at HPE. Your journey to S4 HANA will be one of the most significant events your IT organization will ever undertake. And with HPE, You have a trusted advisor who has the experience, the expertise, and industry-leading infrastructure portfolio, a comprehensive end-to-end services portfolio that enable you to be successful with your SAP HANA or S/4HANA adoption journey. Now, we all know about the Gartner Group. The Gartner Group is a highly respected opinion-forming research company. And in June of last year, Gartner published a research note that was titled, How to Select Your Optimal SAP HANA Systems Vendor. Now, this report actually takes a very close look at SAP HANA adoption and looks across the vendor landscape. And not only does Gartner list HPE as the #1 system vendor by a wide margin, HPE also has deployed more systems than the next 3 systems vendors combined. So we're actually leaders across every major SAP HANA category, whether it's appliances, TDI, on-prem deployments, or cloud deployments. We're leaders because we offer one of the widest range of choices, starting as small as 128 gigabyte configurations to the largest SAP certified system in the market today with 32 processors and 24 terabytes of memory in a single system. And our long history of co-innovation with Intel and SAP is why we were the first to market with the largest scale-up x86 system for SAP HANA, the first 16 processor single node system, and the first 32 socket single node system. We have the first scale-out system larger than 8 sockets, and so on. We're the infrastructure of choice, not only for our clients, but also for some of the largest SAP HANA service providers. And that's also because of our performance leadership, the choice and the flexibility that we're able to offer to our customers, whether it's a choice of deployment models like certified SAP HANA appliances or SAP HANA data center integration offerings. So really, it should come as no surprise that Gartner Group echoes what our clients have also told us. More organizations trust HPE than any other vendor for the x86 SAP HANA infrastructure solutions because of their expertise and experience when it comes to building and deploying SAP HANA infrastructure solutions. We have the richest and the most scalable portfolio of purpose-built and performance-optimized infrastructure solutions for SAP HANA. And additionally, it's our broad suite of end-to-end services that includes building, deploying, managing your SAP HANA instances, or even helping you with a consumption-based model with HPE GreenLake. Our expertise and our experience in building the most scalable, performance-optimized, mission-critical infrastructure solutions is why Indian Oil Corporation, which is the largest commercial oil company in India, chose the HPE for their SAP HANA instances. Indian Oil actually needed a solution that could keep up with their rapid growth rates without having to compromise on performance or flexibility, while also being able to minimize the total cost of ownership. And HPE helped Indian Oil complete a massive migration in just under 4 months, helping them realize the objective of speeding up business processes, improving responsiveness, and modernizing their SAP landscapes. Business reports that used to take hours are now being generated in minutes. So let's now switch gears a little bit and talk about some of the key considerations worth going over before you embark on your S/4HANA adoption journey. Now, each one of you in your organizations will have a core set of technical and functional requirements that should be comprehended before determining which SAP HANA infrastructure solution is right for you and what's really the optimal deployment and consumption model, whether it's on-premise or in the cloud or deployed as an appliance or as SAP HANA tailored data center integration model. We've heard from our clients that certain requirements around performance, investment protection, especially as it relates to scalability, reliability, and availability, the choice and the flexibility, these are some considerations that are absolutely critical. You are deploying, after all, an in-memory application, and therefore performance and scalability are going to be non-negotiable. Similarly, being able to find the best value and optimizing for the total lifetime cost of ownership is going to be an important consideration that'll help you shape or steer you towards the right solution. Now, of course, certain other considerations like use cases, for instance, if you're deploying S/4HANA, then you will want to narrow down your choices to scale up systems. Knowing how much in-memory computing capacity, for instance, you will need based on your current landscapes and your anticipated growth, as well as if you in the future want to drive consolidation and eliminate silos, this will help you determine the appropriate system size you'll need to deploy. How do you want to consume SAP HANA? Do you want to run HANA on premise, leverage the cloud, or even implement a hybrid model is going to be another key set of considerations. And then finally, do you want your system infrastructure to be tailored to your environment and application needs, or do you prefer a pre-configured appliance? And since you will be implementing new infrastructure for SAP HANA, do you also want to use that opportunity to upgrade your other areas of your IT environment, such as networking components? So really the answers to some of these questions will help you frame your requirements that will best meet your needs. Not all customers are alike, and that is why this framework that we develop in consultation with our clients really helps our clients choose the right solution for wherever they are in their SAP HANA journey without, versus really being force fit into a generic one-size-fits-all solution. So now let's take a look at the infrastructure that powers the world's largest SAP HANA instances deployed in x86 systems. So our flagship infrastructure solutions for SAP HANA are based on the Superdome Flex family. Superdome Flex systems are rated #1 in the market in terms of scale-up capacity for SAP HANA, and we have twice the processing power of the closest x86 competitor in a single node scale-up system. The Superdome Flex is actually currently certified up to 32 processors and up to 24 terabytes of memory in a scale-up instance, and we can scale out up to 288 terabytes of memory, and this would be ideal for business warehouse or B4HANA use cases. Just recently, we announced the Superdome Flex 280. This is a brand new offering in HPE's compute portfolio. This system is SAP certified up to 8 sockets or 8 processors with up to 12 terabytes of memory in a single system. And the Superdome Flex 280 is based on the 3rd generation of Intel's scalable processor family. Now, of course, in keeping up with the tradition of building the most scalable SAP HANA certified systems in the market, the Superdome Flex 280 is also #1 in scale-up capacity for SAP HANA with twice the processing power of the closest x86 competitor based on the 3rd generation of Intel's scalable processor family. So our ability to scale up to the largest sizes in the market is how we help our clients maximize performance and also protect their investments. With the most scalable systems in the market from HPE, customers can actually start small and add capacity as their needs evolve. And this means you don't have to over-provision. And this also means that the ability of your infrastructure to be able to scale with your needs eliminates the need to do costly forklift upgrades. In fact, SAP always recommends to scale up before scaling out. This is because when you scale out, there can be two elements that can impact performance, and that's node-to-node traffic and network latency, and that's often measured in microseconds. And these two elements come into play as soon as you scale out. Now, if you want to leverage the true capabilities of S4 HANA and be able to run transactional and analytics workloads on the same database to achieve real-time analytics, you can't really afford to introduce latency that slows down your transactions. And so for this reason, building the most scalable systems in the market for our clients has been our defining characteristic since day one. But then scalability alone isn't enough. Being able to scale without compromising on performance is truly what sets us apart. Our flagship Flex offerings have been performance leaders, having delivered world record performance benchmarks with SAP's Business Warehouse Edition for HANA. And this is the standard application benchmark version 3. Now, these benchmarks are really useful for our clients because they measure performance across three KPIs. And these are the data load phase, and that actually measures the latency and the load performance. The query executions per hour, which is a measure of throughput, and the time it actually takes to run complex queries. And so we've been performance leaders since day one, and we take pride in consistently raising the bar on performance. First, as the only system in the market with a 16 socket and a 12 terabyte DRAM benchmark, and then as the only system in the market with a 16 socket and a 24 terabyte benchmark that uses a combination of DRAM and Intel's persistent memory. And we also now have a 32 socket 24 terabyte benchmark. And of course, even for our newly released Flex 280 solutions for SAP HANA, not only are we leaders in scalability, we're leaders once again in terms of performance as well. So really being able to deliver performance at scale and do so consistently is in our DNA. And that is why more customers trust HPE than any other vendor for their mission-critical x86 systems. Now, in addition to performance, availability and uptime are going to be another key set of requirements for our customers. SAP applications are one of the most mission-critical applications in your organization. And now, while nobody can prevent disasters, we can help you minimize downtime with HPE Service Guard. And HPE Service Guard is a fully automated and unattended high availability and disaster tolerance solution for SAP HANA. Now, of course, the industry-leading modularity, scalability, performance, the mission-critical reliability, the availability, and even the serviceability features that define a Flex portfolio is why it's an infrastructure of choice for even some of the largest service providers, systems integrators, SAP certified infrastructure as a service vendors like these systems, and even some of the largest public cloud vendors in the market. And of course, infrastructure alone isn't going to be enough to determine the success of your S4 HANA migration. You also need a partner who can provide end-to-end services and support for your S4 HANA instances. A Pointnext services portfolio is actually built on a strong foundation of extensive industry expertise, and that enables us to act as a trusted advisor to you and help you with designing, building, deploying, managing, supporting your most mission-critical SAP instances. Our Pointnext services team has delivered thousands of successful projects that range from single-site HANA deployment services to global multi-site rollouts. Now, a lot of our clients tell us that they really want the agility and the economics that they get in the public cloud, but they want full control over their infrastructure. So our clients are telling us that they want a cloud-like consumption model with their on-premise infrastructure. And a GreenLake solution lets you do exactly that. Your SAP HANA system infrastructure is built as a service and only for what you use. We install an additional amount of capacity ahead of demand, and that actually gives you a buffer to draw from. You can add capacity in minutes or even decrease capacity when you don't need it. So you really pay for what you use because your usage is metered and charged on a monthly basis, and that actually enables a true consumption experience. And it's that flexibility and control why Sailing Group, which is Denmark's largest retailer, chose HPE GreenLake to enjoy a true cloud-like experience on premises without having to make any compromises. In fact, HPE GreenLake powers the customer edition of SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud. Now, with the SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud, customers can now solve issues with data latency or data sovereignty issues and can choose to deploy the SAP HANA infrastructure close to their data. And this really gives you the best of both worlds, because the SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud Customer Edition is powered by HPE GreenLake, SAP Enterprise Cloud Services will support the day-to-day running of your applications. So to conclude, our expertise in SAP HANA is an extension of the experience we've gained from serving many thousands of customers running SAP HANA applications in HPE. And as market leaders for both SAP and SAP HANA solutions, we'll continue to blaze the innovation trail for our clients, and the features that define us, whether it's scalability, performance, reliability, availability, flexibility, and so on, you'll always see them amplified in our latest offerings. So hopefully this quick introduction was useful to you. We'd love to partner with you on your SAP HANA adoption journey. We can help you with planning, migration, implementation, the infrastructure, the services, practically everything that you need to be successful. And if you have any questions at all, we're here to help. Thank you.